Hi, my name's Stephen Abelson. I'm the owner of GoToSouthAfrica.com. That's go2southafrica.com. I'm located in Ashland, Oregon, and I sell South Africa. I grew up in the country and have been a South Africa tourism destination specialist for many years. I custom design programs to South Africa and the surrounding countries of the Victoria Falls, Botswana, Zambia, Mozambique, Zimbabwe. South Africa is a wonderful and fresh destination. People go to Africa once they've been to Europe, they've done Mexico, and they've done all the surrounding country and continents of the United States, and Africa is the highlight of their trip. To spend a night or a couple of nights in a safari lodge, falling asleep listening to lions roaring, or wake up the next morning and find the footprints of a leopard walking outside your tent, is an exciting way to spend a vacation time. The highlight of most people's experiences in South Africa is to spend time in the bush, and the opportunities and the variety in southern Africa is tremendous. South Africa offers the very famous Kruger National Park, and within the private game reserves of the Kruger National Park, the Sabi Game Reserve. From there you can spend 2 or 3 days and mosey over to the Timbavati, which is another private game reserve surrounding the Kruger National Park. To spend nights in the bush, whether it be in a tented lodge or whether in a permanent lodge, is a very, very exciting experience. Getting up early morning, going out to look for the animals, getting very close to the animals, taking a walk in the bush, doing a canoe safari, doing a dedicated tracking safari, specialized photographic safari, a specialized fly-in safari. There are so many different ways that you can experience the bush in South Africa. Surrounding South Africa, you have Botswana, which is one of the most prime destinations in the world for safari viewing. The famous Okavango Delta, which is the world's largest inland delta, is an incredible experience. You have a combination of water and land put together in a desert, because basically the Okavango Delta is a desert, and nature has transformed it into this lush green waterway with these myriad of islands dotted all around the delta area. And the animals migrate from island to island, and if you're lucky enough, and if you're in the bywaters and the smaller channels, you might find elephants or lions crossing these channels between islands and islands. Botswana also is very close to the very famous Victoria Falls, and most people go to South Africa and include a trip to the Victoria Falls. Very close to Victoria Falls is Chobe National Park of Botswana. So to integrate Victoria Falls and Botswana is a natural flow for most people when they go into South Africa. Victoria Falls is a 1-night to a 2-night stay. You can tour the falls, you can do a sunset cruise on the falls. If you're an adrenaline junkie, you can jump and bungee jump over the falls. You can fly in older planes over the falls. You can visit arts and crafts villages around the falls. And when you're done with the Victoria Falls, you can then take a 90-minute drive and you get to Chobe National Park. Chobe National Park is a very different park. Whereas most parks you're allowed to do a morning and evening game drive in, Chobe National Park you can only do a morning game drive in, because you have to be out of the park by 6:30 in the afternoon. So the animals in Chobe National Park are really not that used to humans. So in a sense it is still a very, very wild park. It attracts a tremendous amount and variety of game, in particular huge herds of elephants, and I'm talking huge herds of elephants. During the dry winter months, that usually run around May, June till about November, December when the rains come, the inland water holes dry up and the elephants migrate to the permanent sources of water. And you can get anywhere up to 5,000 and 10,000 herds of animals strung along Chobe National River up and down the banks. The Chobe National Park then is a tremendous experience, because there are 2 ways to experience the park. You can do the traditional game lodge experience, where you go and you do a morning game drive in Chobe National Park, and in the evening time you can go and do a river cruise, which is a small boat that gets you within sometimes 10 to 15 feet of elephants drinking on the banks of the river. Or you can spend time in a houseboat and do a houseboat safari on Chobe National Park as well. One of the most up-and-coming destinations around southern Africa as a safari experience is Zambia. Zambia offers a experience what Botswana was maybe 10 years ago. The infrastructure is young. All the camps, just like Botswana, are young, boutique-looking, very small, very intimate, maybe 4 to 8 lodges or units. The game viewing and the variety is tremendous, tremendous. Nestled on the Indian Ocean side, the east side of South Africa, is Mozambique. In the small little country of Mozambique, is actually one of the gems of Africa right now. The beaches of the Indian Ocean country of Mozambique are some of the finest I've seen in the world, and I've been to Thailand, Mexico, I've been to India and Bali and other places around the world, including South Africa, which has incredible beaches. But the warm Indian Ocean that they have and the cleanliness of the beaches, coupled with the different culture that you have in Mozambique, they speak Portuguese, and the influence is a little different than most African countries, and the architecture, coupled with what you find over there, given the fact that this poor country has been fighting for such a long time and they have now found peace within their country, the infrastructure is developing. It's somewhat of a developing third world country, but they are such a peaceful people in Mozambique, and they really, really love tourists. The combination of a South Africa safari combination with Mozambique beach experience is a fantastic combination. But you cannot go to Southern Africa without experiencing the country of South Africa. But that is the prime hotspot down in that part of the world. The city of Cape Town is young and fresh and vibrant. The city of Cape Town is regarded amongst the top 5 most beautiful cities in the world, nestled with Table Mountain and the Atlantic Ocean in the foreground, and behind on the east side you have the Indian Ocean. You can go from the Indian to Atlantic Ocean in about 15 minutes out in Cape Town. You can visit the famous Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela spent many years as a prisoner of the old political regime in South Africa. And if you're interested in wine, South Africa has one of the top wine industries in the world, and the winelands are only 45 minutes from Cape Town. Besides Cape Town, one of the most popular areas of South Africa that I have been introducing people to is the Eastern Cape. I do cultural tours in South Africa, and I combine people-to-people recognition with the urban vibe as well as safari. It's a very, very unique way of experiencing the real South Africa, areas that most of the mass tourism don't go to. The World Cup is coming to South Africa in 2010, and for all you soccer addicts and fanatics like me out there, I would suggest you start planning real soon. Get hold of me and contact me, because I have a growing email list, and I'll be putting together packages, and I have some up on my site already. The World Cup in South Africa is going to be one big party. Africa is absolutely in love with soccer or football, and when they go to a game, it is a very noisy and party affair. I was in South Africa when it was announced. In fact, I was down in Cape Town in a special event when it was announced, and that whole city partied for 24 hours. We were just dancing in the streets, the police and everyone just joined in. There was no traffic, nothing happening, just party 24 hours, and then they got back to normal. My website is go2southafrica.com, www.go2southafrica.com. You can get me at 1-800-443-9216. A custom design for people. Some people don't like custom design. There are many wonderful types of escorted tours you can do in South Africa, from budget overland escorted tours to over 50 active for seniors. I do luxury design for people. If you need to go into East Africa, we do that as well, but my main focus is Southern Africa. Get hold of me. I'd be happy to rap with you about the country. I love designing packages for the country. You can't go wrong with a trip to South Africa. Just go on my website and read the testimonials. I don't have to push the product more than what these other people say about my past clients who have traveled into the country. My past clients that have traveled into the country have put some testimonials there that will give you insight into how they've designed their trip and what they liked. And from there, we can copy the same thing, or we can design one specially for you. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you down in Cape Town.